No, this is not the $20,000 Les Paul Historic Greenie replica. This is the $200 eBay Chibson replica of something. Very clumsy replication on their part. However, for $200, this is what I wound up with. Why did I get another Chibson? Well, because I have a friend who wants to trade a Chibson for another guitar that I sold to him that he never paid me for. Haha. How about that? Figure that one out. Okay, so I looked and found one for $200, and it said needs work in the way of the upper frets are uneven. It said needs professional work. I said, well, I'm not a professional, but I kind of know how to work on frets, and for $200, this is the perfect candidate for learning how to work on frets. So I bid on it, and somebody outbid me by $3. So it was gone. I thought, okay, you're not going to get that guitar. And then a week later, turns out the bidder who won it flaked, and it went back on eBay, and I waited and waited and waited. And then I just said, okay, bid on the opening price, and nobody else bid. So I got it for $200. So what do you get for $200? What's different from my first Chibson? Well, it's quite different, even though it looks like it was built in the same place. What's different about it is that this top is an actual maple top. It's thick. It's probably almost a ½ inch thick at the center, whereas the other one is just maple veneer over mahogany, and the veneer is probably 1/16 of an inch thick. So it's basically like a mahogany body with shelf paper that looks like flame maple on top of it. Whereas this one, it's real maple, and so it's made like a real Gibson. So, well, it's not a Gibson, obviously. You know, it looks like it was made in a junior high school wood shop like all the rest of them. But it has the bare bones of a Gibson guitar in terms of a one-piece mahogany body, one-piece mahogany neck, and a real maple cap, carved. But what about the wood in the body? Like, that's flame mahogany body on a Chinese guitar, a $200 Chinese guitar. That's nuts. So, yeah, I mean, that's a real bonus. And the wood in the neck, I look for a scarf joint anywhere in the neck. No, there's not one. It's one piece. So, and the other thing is the pickups. They're good. The tuners, they work. I have replaced nothing on this guitar. However, the neck was like a banana, and the frets were all different heights. So I had to monkey with a truss rod. Amazingly, the truss rod worked. It's a double acting truss rod. It worked both directions. I was shocked. It was great. The frets are not medium jumbo. They're like full-on jumbo frets. So there's all this metal to work with. So yeah, I had to file on this for about an hour, and then crowned it and polished the frets, and oil the fingerboard, and it plays fine. I mean, it's not as nice as a historic Les Paul, but it plays pretty good. It doesn't buzz anywhere, with, you know, kind of moderately low action. The other thing is that's the neck pickup. It's pretty good sounding, you know, and no microphonics. So there's the bridge pickup. I mean, I can't complain about that. It sounds fine. and then both pickups together. I mean, it's great. It sounds great. There's a little bit of intonation issues because the bad thing is, if you look carefully, this bridge has some metal studs in the body that the threaded rods that the bridge is mounted to go into. Well, the threaded pieces are loose, they have play, and then the metal pieces that are shoved into the wood of the body, those are loose too. So you can bang this bridge around and throw your intonation out. So that's the one thing that I'm going to have to do some heavy work to. I'm going to have to yank the whole bridge out, put metal dowels, or no, wooden dowels in the top of the guitar, glue those in and re-drill it so that the threaded rods that the bridge mounts to are screwed directly into the wood of the guitar with no play. They won't move around, and then I'll probably stick a different bridge on there and then it'll intonate. But honestly, I haven't replaced anything on this guitar yet. Except for the switch tip, that was it. So this is a stock guitar with a setup on it and a fret mill. But other than that, same tuners, same electronics, all the stuff. Replace the strings, but it's kind of amazing. And I bought it used. I didn't buy it from China, so I'm not necessarily creating more demand and taking jobs away from America by buying a Chinese guitar. Should never do that. Well, I thought this was the one I was going to trade away, but this neck, it's more of like a 60s style neck than the other one. The other one's kind of 50s style neck. It's kind of a little narrow at the nut and kind of chunky, and I don't know, kind of a poor example of attempting to be a 50s neck, whereas this neck is nice. It's a little wider at the nut, a little less depth. It just feels more playable. It's more fun to play. Makes me want to pick it up and play it, whereas the other one just sits in a case. So yeah, you can find one of these with a real maple top, one-piece body, one-piece neck, and you know how to level some frets. I say go for it. You know, you can do worse. I mean, it's not going to be a Gibson, and it's not going to be one of like the upper end Epiphones that when you get them, they're playable. They're ready to go. I mean, it's a quality instrument. These things, you got to work on them. Doesn't matter. But $200. I mean, great way to learn how to work on guitar is get one of these cheap and just tear it apart and see what you can do. And if you ruin it, well, you're out $200. Big deal. I mean, if you work on your historic Les Paul and ruin the frets, well then you have to take it to, you know, a professional and have it redone, and then it's embarrassing and very expensive. So something like this, you know, not much liability, and learning how to hone your craft of getting your guitars to play better. So that's the other value of getting a cheap guitar like this. That, well, yeah, it's never going to be a Gibson. It's never going to be like some heirloom great instrument, but it's going to be usable. Like, I'm going to take this thing to the next rehearsal I have with a band that goes out and plays places and gets paid, you know, professional stuff. Am I going to take it on stage? I don't know. The other people in the band might not really like me playing a $200 guitar, but I would. I mean, plays good, sounds good. What more do you need? All right. Thanks for watching.